Witch, putting the K in magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you're watching another episode of Every Which Way. This time featuring my friend, Lenora Henson, the author of the Wicked Garden series. And this is actually my third interview with Lenora because I thought it'd be really fun to trace the entire journey from book one, from before even book one came out, all the way through to the publishing of book 6. So hopefully she will hang with me and keep coming back to talk about each book as it comes out, because I've never seen that done before, and this is a book series worth investing in. The first book, The Wicked Garden, is so hooky and engaging. It's a real page turner that you can't wait to get to the next book, and I know I'm not the only one who feels that way because I've heard from a lot of you about it, and I've seen online people being like, hurry up Lenora, get to the next book. And I have some really good news for you, because the next book in the series, The Witches of Snyder Farms, is out today. So the wait is over, and I'm really excited to get to present this interview with Lenora, because she is a truly kick-ass witch, an amazing writer, and a real inspiration. So here she is, Lenora Henson, the author of the Wicked Garden series. Hi, Lenora. Welcome back to Every Which Way. Yay! I love talking to you. This is our third interview.
It is.
And
they've
all been about your book series. And you have book 2 coming out today, and I'm really excited because I'm a fan.
Yay! I am too.
I know. It's been so fun. It was really neat getting to talk to you before the book came out, when you were still in the writing process. And then after book 1 came out, and I was like, oh, she's amazing. And then now just being in that anticipatory state.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it was fun to write, thinking about how people are going to receive it.
Yeah, well, how did they receive the first one? What was your experience of finally putting that out into the world?
I was putting the first one out there. I was kind of scared. And I cannot believe the response that I got. I'm still overwhelmed by it.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is cool. I'm overwhelmed by it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. Once I read the book, I knew that. In fact, I'm a little annoyed that someone big hasn't found it and picked it up and pushed it out into the bigger world, because it's a self-published book, and it's definitely moving by word of mouth. I hear from people all the time, either I can't wait to read it, or I just read it and it's awesome and I can't wait to read the second one. We're talking about The Wicked Garden, by the way, for anybody who has no idea what we're talking about. Yay!
Book 1.
Yeah, I just think I think for myself, and I think probably other people feel this way, when you see a book is self-published, you kind of have a knee-jerk reaction, oh, well, it must not be that good, or maybe nobody wanted to publish it, and that's why she has to put it out. But you didn't even mess around with all of that. You just released it yourself, and it's definitely worthy of a big publishing house. I read a lot of witchy fiction, and I'll read a lot of crap just because I really like that genre, and I would say yours is definitely up there.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I didn't mess around with publishers, and I think once I made the decision to finish, the book or the series or whatever, I just had to get it out there somehow. And that was my first opportunity, so that's what I went with. And I had some experience with the graphic design, which, and I'm a photographer, kind of.
No, you're a good photographer.
I did all that, and I did pretty much all of it. I did hire an editor and a model, of course. That's not me. That's the lovely Michelle Lakin. But yeah, a lot of it I did myself and used the talents that I've acquired and was born with over the years to accomplish that.
Yeah, I think that's really inspiring for those of us who have a dream. It doesn't have to be the dream to be a writer, just to see somebody like pull on all the different resources they have inside, even, and to put something out there.
Things that you didn't think that you would use.
Yeah, and it's interesting, this is another benefit of self-publishing. You released the first book, The Wicked Garden, this spring, and now you're coming out with the second one already in the fall, which is The Witches of Snyder Farms. I'm very excited about that. Yay! Oh, there it is. I don't have my copy yet, but I'm excited. It's cool. Can you hold it up closer to the screen, and it's kind of centered? Yeah, cool. So people can see.
There's Gretchen.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. And there's the back.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Why did you decide to do that? To release it so soon after the first one?
My original plan is a 6-book series. I have 5 pretty much written, and I had planned to do 2 a year. Mm-hmm. It just made sense to me. But actually, people are wanting it sooner. It's like they can't wait to get it, and that makes me feel great. There is a process involved, so I feel like I can't even get it out there soon enough.
Yeah, so it's great. And in the publishing world, sometimes you have to wait a couple years before a book, even after it's done, to get it into the hands of the public. So it's exciting that you have that relationship with your fans now too, where they can be like, "Hey, where's that next book?" And you're like, "I'm working on it."
Yes.
And you kept the same editor for this book. Can you want to give her a shout out? I don't think we did that before.
Jessica Jernigan, and she is in Michigan, and she's amazing. And we have a really good relationship as far as the folklore, and we just understand Gretchen, and we understand Eli, and we just both kind of jive on the whole thing. And she gets it, and that's why I keep working with her, because she gets it.
Nice. Okay.
So, and she's a writer herself, so we plan to keep working together. We'll just see how things go, because I think she's kind of wanting to jump into the fiction world as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people are. What are your feelings about working with an editor for anybody who wants to self-publish a book, but they're thinking about the expenses, and an editor, I know that can be expensive. What's your take on hiring an editor? How do you find one? Is it worth the money?
It is expensive. Mm-hmm. It is worth it. I definitely would not put something out there without having an editor, or without having somebody really go through it. I mean, mine was pretty comprehensive, and it's a very complicated series, and there's a lot of things to keep track of, and then there's a lot of mythology and folklore involved, so I appreciate her her ability to help me keep track of some of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Sorry, for somebody that is wanting to publish, find an editor. I mean, they charge different rates. You can look at a college. You can, just announce it on Facebook, or just do a Google search.
Yeah. Cool. You say it's complicated or complex with all of these different layers, but what I really like is there's a lot going on, but you seem to really take your time with the first book and letting it unfold naturally. It definitely has a pace to it. You want to keep reading to find out, but it doesn't feel complicated in your mind. It's very easy to grab on to each of the characters. You were talking about Gretchen and Eli. Are those the two that people talk to you the most about?
Yes, and Peter.
Okay, yes, he's very eccentric.
And I love Peter too. Mm-hmm. I love writing his part. Yeah.
What?
And they like Amy and Miss Pony as well.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I just think Gretchen grabbed me the most because she's that flawed, wounded protagonist, that is so relatable, and you kind of root for her. She can be very frustrating. You're like, come on, get it together.
No.
Yeah. But any little victory she has, you feel that victory with her. And then, of course, we all love romance.
Yeah. Yep. And I will say that that book 2, the pace is probably a little bit faster. Of course, we're leading into the next book, and the next book will probably slow down a little bit. But yeah, we're getting some questions answered, and it's going to move a little quicker.
Why is it called The Witches of Snyder Farms? Does it mostly take place there? Is it more witchy? I notice, like, book 1, also what I like about it is it's based in reality. And then you have, like, touches of magic, like, on the fringes, which, to me, that's what magic is really like anyway. So it makes it a world you can enter. But now that we're in, is it going to get witchier, or what's going to happen to us?
It will get witchier. The next book, which is called Beltane, it's going to have a lot more witchy components. This, The Witches of Snyder Farms, it really takes place in a short amount of time, but it's really some compacted information, I guess, and a lot of things happening in this short amount of time. And I think I named it The Witches of Snyder Farms because Miss Pony is going to reveal some stuff about, her ancestry and how she was raised. So you kind of get a look back at why these things are taking place.
Nice. And the tagline is, "History has no mercy."
Right. Why does this stuff keep happening?
Yeah.
Ghosts haunting us.
I've noticed, too, on Facebook that your fiance, Jim, he's like sort of like your beta reader now. Is he like going through this whole experience with you? And he's getting excited for the next book.
He is. And we have some interesting philosophical conversations about it. He gets really frustrated at Gretchen too, but, we see that she is a flawed person. He gets frustrated with Eli as well. He likes Peter a lot. But, I can bounce stuff off of him and it's great having that kind of support.
Yeah, and to get a man's perspective, too. I think this series is for everyone. It's not a girly book. It's not a book for people that only like to read witchy fiction. It's pretty broad, I think, in who it could appeal to. I know paranormal romance is huge right now, so I'm sure... It's going to keep spiraling out. Have you noticed that yet? Like friends telling friends about it? Or is it pretty much your core group of people that are reading right now?
It's spreading. And the type of people that are reading it, I'm so blessed and I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. And there are a lot of men reading it. And they're like, well, this is a pretty good story, because it is told from a man's perspective. And a woman's perspective, so.
Very nice. How have you integrated, I guess, the fan experience for yourself now that, like, people who don't know you are approaching you? Are you starting to feel like that author you envisioned yourself to be, like, back in the day when you thought about maybe doing this?
A little bit.
I'm feeling that for you.
Unless I'm having one of those mornings where, I'm still in my pajamas typing and I'm like, oh. But, besides that.
Fun stuff. Are you thinking about maybe one day finding a publisher or just letting it move out into the world as it will and, where it falls is anybody's guess, kind of?
I'm not against it, obviously, but I'm pretty busy right now, so I'm not actually pursuing it. But maybe after the third book, I may actively seek a publisher.
Yeah, you are busy because now you're leading these. I guess are they workshops? Psyche Circle? What would you call that?
I guess it's an e-course.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's a 4-week e-course, and I have an amazing group of women that just love them so much, and I will have another one starting in October, so it's going really well.
Yeah, I saw the Psyche Circle 2 is coming out already. Like, what do we do in Psyche Circle? What happens when people sign up for that?
Well, what they do is they get a lesson every week through PDF and video, and then there's a secret Facebook group, and we just discuss the lessons of the topic that we're working on. So the first one we're working on self-love and self-containment, communication, things like that. The next one is going to be kind of an Alice in Wonderland theme, and which I'm obsessed with.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and it's going to be more about purpose and intention and how to really, activate our talents.
Mm-hmm. And it's about archetypes, right? Which is kind of a theme with you, with your newsletter and your website and the novels, and now with Psyche Circles. Like, you're the archetype lady, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. I love archetypes. I love symbology and mythology. And so anytime that I can integrate it in something that I'm doing or teaching, the better. Because it fascinates me.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like people get it? Like they're able to understand like a piece of mythology and then apply it to their own life?
They do. They really do. And it's almost easier to teach that way, because when you tell a story, they can understand a story, and then they see the lesson within it. And, that's what myth really is.
Yeah.
That's
well, if people want to backtrack and take the first Psyche Circle when you've already moved on to like the third or the fourth, are those going to be available, or once you miss the boat, you miss the boat?
You know what? I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to figure out a way to make those available. Like you said, later. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but the wheels are turning.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever read the book, The Tipping Point?
I have not. It's
about PR and marketing, and it's about how every successful business, or career even, you could look at it that way, it eventually reaches a tipping point where, from the outside looking in, it kind of looks like they have an overnight success, but really it's just kind of like been building. So I'm thinking that's like where you're headed with the novels and Psyche Circles. So it would be awesome to have those available, because I feel like the number of people that are involved in this world of Lenora Henson right now, I think that is just going to grow exponentially over the years, and people are going to be like, wait a minute, where are these old Psyche Circle things that I missed? And,
Yeah, I hope to make those available.
Mm-hmm.
And that really encourages the idea.
Yeah, that's a good book, by the way, for anybody interested.
I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, it helps you to kind of have patience and fortitude as you're moving forward in your career. And
sure, because it does build.
Yeah.
And it requires a lot of patience.
Yeah. Are you finding that, you've already written the second novel, so that one's done, and now you've moved on to 3, or are you giving yourself a little break?
I'm going to try to give myself a little break. I'm working on the Psyche Circle 2, and I just need to just kind of step back a little bit. Just for a little bit.
Did you find it challenging, like jumping right into book 2 after you put the first one out?
No, because, it was challenging, but I didn't jump right into it because I had moved. I had all this crazy stuff going on at the same time. I was moving 2.5 hours away, and the book was coming out at the same time, so everything kind of happened at once, and then I just came to a halt. And it was kind of a weird time for me, and I was doing a lot of processing, and then a month later, I really said, okay, it's time to get started, and, finally get back into it. I probably won't wait that long to get back into Beltane, although Jim would probably appreciate it if I took some more time off.
Give us all a chance to catch up on the novels. Although I've noticed on Facebook people saying, like, you're such a tease. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they're really upset about it or not, but I'm hoping that they're just playing.
Oh, I think that happens with good fiction. Or even like a TV show that you're really interested in. Like the season finale happens and you're pissed.
What?
No! You can't wait for the next one. It's fun to follow the thread of these characters that you've created, I think. Or have they taken on a life of their own? Have you ever had a dream, like, with any of your characters in it?
Oh, yeah. And it's funny, because when I was writing it, when I was doing the first drafts of all the books, which I wrote them in a really short amount of time. I wrote the first 4 or 5 in about 8 months. And so I was literally obsessed. And I think Anne Rice said something about when she writes, it's all she thinks about. And that's kind of how it was. But, you know, it's a little bit better now because it's really just editing and changing stuff. I'm not actually deeply involved in the creative process as I was. Because I kind of got the skeleton, you know.
Yeah, you say you've got 5 books, but 6 planned. Do you have the 6th in mind, or you're not really sure where you're going to take all of these characters at that point?
I think I almost want to surprise myself. Yeah, I kind of, you know, I know how it's going to end. But I don't actually have it written yet. So it almost makes me tear up thinking about an ending.
I remember when J.K. Rowling came to the end of Harry Potter and her being upset about it. Like, it was like a loss for her because she had spent so much time with those characters.
Yeah, you grow attached to them. To their experience.
Yeah, I guess the medicine for that is jumping into the next project.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah, I think you're going to be a lifelong writer here, woman. I know you say you've always known that this is what you were supposed to do. And it's nice. You're about to turn 40.
I am.
Any day now. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. So now, like, you gave yourself this gift. Like, you solidified what you've always known in your heart since you were a little girl that you were, and now you are.
I know.
Really. It's inspiring. We keep, like, talking at the same time. And then this is so, like, such a gushy interview because we've become friends and I love your books. But really the theme of Every Which Way is how to create the kick-ass life of your dreams. And so I think you're a really beautiful example of that. And I've already asked you this before, but let's ask again. For anybody who wants to follow in your footsteps, who has that feeling and they've known that they're a writer, but they just haven't taken the leap for whatever myriad reasons, like, what would be your tip for them, like, just to get started, just to get on that path?
My tip would be not to wait for the right circumstances, not to wait for everybody or a certain person to believe in you, because you could be waiting forever. The moment you believe in yourself and your own dream is the moment you're ready to jump off that cliff and take the chance.
Yeah. Just do it.
Just.
Is there anything you wanted to tell us beyond sign up for the next Psyche Circle? Buy the book. You're doing a Facebook launch today. What's that like?
Exciting. I'm also having my 40th birthday party today. So.
Oh my gosh! Happy birthday!
Hey. It's not today, but yeah, we're having a little gathering. Yeah, they could go to LenoraHenson.com to grab the book. And they could also get the Wicked Garden there, too, and just check things out. And they can sign up for my newsletter. I've got all kinds of things going on in this brain and on my website. So.
Yay! And it all connects. It's like a nice little world that people can enter into. I like that. I love what you did for 4 on 40. You kind of did a little series, actually, I noticed, going through your blog, that you kept on that crossroads theme and how 40 is a crossroads for a few blog posts. I like that.
Yes, and we have the 4 on 40 thing that's continuing with you and Suzanne Michelle and Dawn Champagne.
I mess up her name. I'm like, Champagne.
Bless her heart. We have that going on, too, it has been such a blast. Some really lovely ladies.
Yeah.
And
that's fun.
I love working with you.
Totally. And we're going to do more interviews, so we can follow the Wicked Garden, like, from the beginning to the end. I'm hoping, unless, Oprah gets a hold of you first, and then I have to, like, call your people. Tell her it's Joanna!
Joanna comes first.
Please. Maybe she'll remember me. 4 on 40. I will. Well, thank you for talking to me again. I'm excited about book 2.
Thank you. Check it out.
Yay. Much love, everybody. And to you, Lenora.
Catch you on the flip.